Right, welcome to this Tactics and Showcase video for the Eldar. It's for one of the controversial units that I have in my Eldar list, and that's for the Eldar Avatar. Not that common that you see him being used in games these days. It never really was that common. Even 7th edition wasn't a popular choice. It was seen as quite slow. I had him in my Eldar list, and he was alright, he did okay. I kept him in, and was a useful addition to have for the army. The question is now, is he worth taking with the Codex? I would say out of 7th edition, 8th edition, and then 8th edition Codex Eldar, I would say it's about the best time to take the Avatar. And then even better now since chapter 3, because he's taken a points reduction as well, so even cheaper. So I think worth taking. But in this video we'll take a look at the unit. The model that I have is from Forge World. So I'll zoom in, take a closer look at the model, and then we'll cover the tactics, strategy, and try and show you as many bonuses that you can possibly get for this guy, just to make the most out of him. You know, you invest the points in the unit, you may as well try and get the best possible outcome that you can. So the model I have then is here. Yeah, and he is big. I mean, you've got, there's Eldrad. And there's the Avatar. This is the Forge World version. They do two versions. They do one with a spear, one with a sword. Forge World, when I went to get this one, didn't have the sword in stock. I don't know if they've replenished that or not. The spear looks great as well, but I managed to find this guy on eBay, so purchased him from there. This resin kit that's available from them. But there he is. I'll zoom in here so you can take a closer look. I think this model is incredible. The sculpting's brilliant. So I had an older Avatar. It was painted up in sort of the turquoise colour scheme, but I'd said to James, if I ever get another Avatar, especially the Forge World one, I'd love to paint it up in the classic Avatar colour scheme. So that's what I've done with this guy. As much as possible, I've just followed that. But look at the face, the detail, the crisp, clear detail on the face there is fantastic. The headdress looks great. Just the whole proportions looks fantastic. The sword looks a great job. But look at that pose. Superb, and all of the magma here, the molten body of the Avatar, just the way he's striding across the board. Superb, absolutely superb. So there he is, and the bloodied hand there as well. But mightily impressed by this model. Yes, fragile. I've had the sword break a couple of times, so I do wrap him very gently in bubble wrap and take extra care transporting this model around. You can't really put weight on top of him, it's just resin, and it's not the strongest of stuff, so you need to be careful. But if you are, I haven't broken him for ages, so if you look after him, you should be fine. But there he is. What a model to have on the board. And this is one of the main reasons why I want him in my army, just something different, just superb. So I had brought him into my controversial list a good while ago, and they painted it up, and then people said, oh no, you need to get rid of the Avatar. You know, it's no good. But I couldn't bring myself to it. You buy the model and you really want to use it in games. So it's just a case now trying to make him work. He fits in well with the whole structure, the whole philosophy I have behind my army. So when you see the whole list and the way it works, check out the complete army video. I'll talk about it there. But there's a certain way I use this guy, and it seems to work pretty good. A number of games now, he's been very useful when used in a certain way. So we'll take a look at the rules first, and I'll give you an idea of how to use him. So he was Lord of War a while ago, but he's HQ now, I believe. So Avatar of KHAINE. It's power level 13. He was 250 points. He's now been dropped to 220. So as I said at the start, if there's ever a time to use the Avatar, it's now. So 220 points isn't bad. It's not too bad considering what you get here. So movement's 7. I'm pretty sure he used to be slower than that in 7th edition. I could be wrong. I think he was 6 inches. 7 inches isn't bad. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, so that's superb. Strength 6, toughness 6. He's got 8 wounds. That's a fair number of wounds. He's got 5 attacks, which is an excellent number of dice for attacks. That's really good. Leadership 9 and a 3-up save. So that's an excellent stat line. The Avatar is KHAINE. Avatar of KHAINE is armed with the Wailing Doom, which is both a shooting and close combat weapon, and you only take 1 per army. So the Wailing Doom, then you can shoot at range up to range 12. It's assault 1, so this guy can advance and still shoot at -1. It's strength 8. It's -4 and d6 damage, like a melter weapon. just this flaming sword. We roll 2 dice when inflicting damage with this weapon and discard the lowest results. Again, like a melter, you're getting more reliable damage coming through. It's not going to one-shot a vehicle though, like it used to be able to in 7th edition, but it can cause some damage. Soften the target up perhaps before you charge in. Then in close combat, thankfully, the Wailing Doom is +2 strength, so you'll be fighting at strength 8. You're on 3s to wound most vehicles, which is good news. AP -4, you're going to cut through the armour of most vehicles as well. And then again, it's D6 damage, but it's 2 dice to discard the lowest results. Nice, solid, reliable damage come through as well. So yes, you can shoot at and charge into and destroy a vehicle. Pretty good. We'll maybe check that out. Roll some dice to see how effective that is. He also does have battle focus, so if he does advance, it's not going to be -1 to his hit rolls. Nice. Molten Body. Roll a d6 whenever he loses a wound, or a mortal wound. On a 5+, the wound is ignored. So that'll help stretch his wounds out. So really, he's 8 wounds, but he's more like 10, 11 wounds if you take into account when you're going to roll, on average, average number of 5+s you're going to roll. So it really is 10 or 11 wounds if you take that into account. Then some bonuses here for other units. KHAINE Awakened. Friendly Resurgence units within 12 do not take morale tests, so that's useful for some of the units I have in my army, and you can reroll failed charge rolls for these units as well. So that's useful for maybe like my Shining Spears or another close combat type unit. Then they can reroll charges. So that's useful. And because of those rules, the rules are sort of pushing you to take this guy in the heart of your army, in the centre. He's also a demon, he's got a 5+ invuln save also. So the way I use the avatar is to take advantage of the fact that he is a character. He's got no damage chart here, which is another massive advantage. He can be on his last wound and he'll fight just as effectively as if he was fresh. So that's a massive advantage. No -1 to his weapon skill, getting worse and worse and less attacks. It's just solid throughout, which is excellent. And then because he's 8 wounds, he can't be targeted. He's a character that's hidden, so the opponent can only shoot him if he's the closest target. So then he's well hidden in that respect. The opponent's got to try and get through those protecting units, those screening units first of all, before they can get to him. So I struggle in 8th edition because the opponent would see the avatar and shoot him, but now in 8th edition characters are hidden, and so that's made him a lot more powerful because he's harder to hit. So the way I play him is to have my units in front as the screen moving through, and him to move as quickly as possible behind the screen, getting closer towards the enemy lines. So whilst the opponent's trying to destroy the screen, they're not touching the avatar. They can't get to the avatar to take him down. So often you'll see in a game my other units going ahead of the fight and him coming up as quick as possible, and the idea is to let him loose in amongst the opponent's line. And remember, my other aggressive units, they've got Shining Spears, he's granting ignore all morale and reroll charges, so he's actually benefiting units sort of in that kind of zone as well. So you'll see him hanging around with other characters like so, and then I could have a screening unit out the front, whatever it is. I've been using the Scorpions recently as a screening unit. So the opponent's here, you can't target any of these, he's got to get through the screen before he can get to those. If a nasty threat comes nearby, he's a pretty good bodyguard to protect these softer targets. So he's useful as a protection for these units moving up as well. So there's multiple things he can do to help out. Then it comes to a point where I've reached the opponent's battle line, the bodyguard's done its job, and then I'm able to let him loose in amongst the opponent's battle line. And he's not the warlord, he's just to cause as much damage and distraction as possible, and if he dies, it's not the end of the world. But the idea is it'd be nice to preserve him and keep him alive for as long as possible, and then get him in there, and he'll happily charge into anything. So enemy characters, enemy vehicles, dreadnoughts, whatever it is, he'll happily take out a dreadnought, that's for sure. One charge, in he goes, and he'll take a dreadnought out, no problem. So, and that dreadnought could be 180 odd points, so I think he's worth it if used correctly. So one issue then is speed. Yes, you can go 7, and then what? You can advance him a few inches perhaps if you roll the dice. So one trick is to use a stratagem, and I use this if I really need to get somewhere quick. Then I'll play Matchless Agility. It's only 1 command point. Use the stratagem before moving a Suryana unit from your army, so that includes him. If you advance, it's automatically 6 inches instead of rolling a d6. So I'm going to get 7 and a guaranteed 6. So I'm guaranteed with that stratagem to go 13 inches with him. That is quick enough to get up the table nice and quick. And so, you know, one turn you go 13, and then the next turn you go 13. That's 26 inches in 2 turns. You're going to get to where you need to go in that time. You'll be across the battlefield with that kind of manoeuvring. So that's the idea with that. You can also, another trick that I was told you can do, for example, this is a good one. Let's say there's an enemy target here, but I need to get past, I need to get up here. And let's say he's just here at the edge of your picture. I'll go 7. I'll then play Matchless Agility, 6. And then play Fire and Fade in a shooting phase. Use this stratagem after a friendly Suryana from your army shoots. So you need a target of some kind. That's why I'm saying there's an enemy target nearby. So I'll then shoot at that. I got a hit. Let's just see what happens. I've got a wound. It goes straight through, and we cause 5 wounds. So you've half killed a rhino. Good, good for you, Avatar, doing well. And then if you do so, the unit can immediately move 7. So then off we go again. 7. Now we've just gone halfway. We were here, and we've gone to there in 1 round of shooting. In one round. So I mean that's superb. That is very, very quick. And you can even go quicker than that with... I didn't work all these out. This has been pointed out to me by different subscribers and people leaving comments here on the YouTube and also on the Plus channel as well. But I'm just pointing out all these little things that have been shown. There's one more thing that I'm aware of. You can make him the Warlord and give him the Falcon's Swiftness, which is add 2 to your Warlord's move characteristic. So he then goes to a 9-inch move. So instead of 7, he's around here, 9. Then you can play your Matchless Agility, and then you Fire and Fade, another 7, and he's miles away up the board. So maybe use the fact that your opponent thinks, oh yeah, that's a slow model, no threat, crawling along 6 inches a turn, and then pull out a move like that, which is you scream across from one side of the table to the next, and it's a good. It would be an excellent move for sure. But that's the way I play him. Protect him so you can get him where he needs to go. Play a few little clever stratagems if you really need some speed to get up quickly up the board, and then plunge him into the heart of the opponent. Charge him into characters and go for sort of easier kills. You don't think, oh yes, the Avatar is the best. I'll charge him into the best the opponent has. Charge stuff that you know you're going to kill. So, for example, I was playing a game. I had 2 options to charge. I had Land Raider to try and charge into a Dreadnought, but I went after the Dreadnought because I knew he could potentially kill it, and he did kill the Dreadnought, and it was a better job instead of putting 5 wounds on a Land Raider and then not destroying it. So maybe sometimes choose the tastier, softer target and sort of guarantee that kill is better. So let's say we've got a Rhino here, and we charge in. A bit of Overwatch. Be surprised if any wounds come through. There's a hit. Be 5 for a wound. No. So we get and it's reroll charges, by the way. But anyway, we get these attacks come through, which all hit on 2s. 3s to wound. Terrible that. Only 2 have got through. You might want to command reroll that, but we'll leave it at that. -4, it's going to go straight through. So 2d6 choose the best. 6, we'll take that, and the other one 2d6 we'll choose the 3, which is 9. Almost destroyed the Rhino, so virtually mission accomplished for him. Great job. I'll have another go. Just that 5 attacks is so much better than 4. They've all hit except 1. All target nearby would be useful. 3s to wound. Yep, that's really good. So we'll choose the 5, we'll choose the 2, and we'll choose the 6, target destroyed. So your average kind of vehicle, he'll cut through it pretty good. If you start getting things like Lehman Russ, toughness 8 kind of thing, he's going to struggle. That 3s to wound is so much better. to 4s, you start getting to that level, he's going to start struggling. So the other thing, the Wailing Doom, is you can catch flyers out sometimes. Flyers nearby flying around, move him in, and then fire that melter shot, needing usually a 3 to hit, 2 to hit, -1 for hard to hit for flyers. It's another use there for that weapon. So he's particularly devastating against targets that don't have an invuln save. As soon as your opponent's got a decent invuln save, they can start blocking those attacks coming through. But other than that, the Craftworld that I go for, it's usually a Laytok. So if he does find himself caught out, it's going to be -1 over 12 inches away. Sometimes that helps him out a little bit if he gets caught out there. It's a Laytok just to match him with the whole structure of the army that I already have. But that's all the tactics I can think of with those. Again, check the comment section, see what other Eldar players have said, and by all means, if you have some more tactics for this guy, you want to share it, leave it in the comment section below, just to show others how to make the most of this model. But honestly, in the games that I've played, it's not been like, oh, why am I carrying this dead weight of an avatar? He's been useful enough, especially in more recent games, starting to find his place in the army, and the way he interacts and works with other units. I think he's alright. And then the points reduction was very welcome. 250 dropping to 220 is a pretty significant drop. So, maybe you want to consider taking one of these and adding it into your Eldar force. But it all depends on how you use him. If I just sit him and hide him and sit on an objective, yeah, it's okay, but is that a waste? Or is there better ways to use him? I tend to use him more aggressively. But, he's to be protected. He is to protect other units, he's to aid other units, rerolling charges and helping them with morale, and then there's little sneaky ways of getting some extra movement, and then protecting him because he's a character, and getting into close combat, let him into the heart of the opponent's force, taking out characters and softer vehicle targets and so on, causing havoc and proving to be a distraction for the opponent to try and deal with. That's the idea of the avatar. No, there's one more. God. Sure, some of you have started writing the comment already, but you can delete your comment here because I've remembered. I've still not used it in the game because usually I've burnt through all of my stratagems and command points before I've been able to do this, and that is the Avatar Resurgence. It's an amazing stratagem. It does cost you, it's 3 command points. Use this stratagem in the fight phase if an Avatar of KHAINE is slain. So sadly it's not for shooting, so you've got to be killed whilst you're fighting against something, but that's going to happen half the time because he's meant to be there getting stuck into combat. Your opponent may well know what's going on here and avoid close combat because they know you could play that card, but sometimes you can catch them unawares. But anyway, if you're slain during combat, do not remove the avatar as a casualty. Instead, roll a d6 after the enemy unit that slew it has resolved all of its attacks. The Avatar of KHAINE remains on the battlefield with that many wounds remaining. So you could roll a dice and roll a 6, he gets back up with 6 wounds, back up to 75% of what he was. That's terrifying, but any number of wounds, and it's guaranteed. It's not like there's half a chance of it happening. He's guaranteed to get back up again, and on average it's going to be 3 or 4 wounds put back on. And again, doesn't that match exactly the way I'm thinking of playing? Drive him into the heart of your opponent's force, opponent's got to deal with him, they think they've slain him, and the avatar just gets back up. Talk about demoralise your opponent when they see the avatar get back to his feet and carry on fighting. So it's a superb one. I haven't had the privilege yet of activating that one, but I'd love to one day, especially in some crucial battle. James celebrates that Gilliman's slaying the avatar and then the avatar gets back up. It'd be classic. Alright, but that's all the tactics I can think of the avatar. It's a showcase here just to show you how superb the Forge-World model is. Check out the comment section below. Keep a lookout for more tactics videos for all the different factions and battle reports on both of the channels here on YouTube. Check out the Plus channel as well. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.